These days, it's not unusual for people to share their personal experiences via a blog. But when Daniel Sonsier used his online diary to share his concerns about his treatment at the Cumberland Infirmary, the last thing he expected was the threat of legal action from the hospital.
When I opened it, I was just gobsmacked. I just couldn't believe what I was reading. It must have cost them money to not only monitor my blog, but to go down this route. And that's money that surely could be spent on, well, there's so many things that need money spending on in the NHS.
Mr Sonsier was diagnosed with prostate cancer last summer. Unhappy about the speed at which his treatment was progressing, he went elsewhere for surgery and complained to the North Cumbria University's NHS Trust. He wasn't satisfied with the result of an internal inquiry, so decided to plan a protest to highlight his concerns. Then came the solicitor's letter, telling Mr Sonsier that if at the protest or on his blog he issued any unsubstantiated criticism of the care he'd been given, then the Trust would have no hesitation in considering taking legal action against him.
I just think the Trust has maybe overreacted. I think it's unnecessary for them to spend time checking a blog or indeed employing solicitors. In my own view, the simplest thing would be to actually invite them in and see how they can improve the healthcare for others in the future.
The NHS Trust that looks after the Cumberland Infirmary is refusing to comment on both the patient's case and the letter they sent to him. But Mr Sonsier says nothing will deter him from his fight to get men with prostate cancer the best treatment possible.
We're not talking about a parking fine here, we're talking about cancer treatment. And I'd happily go to prison rather than just sit there and do nothing now.
The photography student from Penrith is now free from cancer and looking forward to completing his degree at the University of Cumbria. Alison Freeman, BBC Look North, Carlisle. It was a small but well-publicised protest. Daniel Sonsier believes he wasn't treated quickly enough for prostate cancer at the Cumberland Infirmary. Last month, a legal letter was sent to him by the hospital trust, warning legal action could be taken if anything untrue was said in the online diary he keeps about his experiences.
I'm absolutely gobsmacked, because if this was a high street store or a hotel or, you know, any other organisation, they'd have settled this with a few simple phone calls. But the Trust seems so out of touch with the community. It's beyond belief that I'm having to stand here talking to you today.
The hospital broke its silence on the issue for the first time today.
I think perhaps because the Trust has taken a dignified stance, that's been regarded as a negative thing. But really, hours have been spent looking at this and trying to see if there are any issues that need to be taken forward. Now, if you're a patient, and I've had parents with cancer, you know, I deal with this every day, it's very difficult to see the headlines and feel that you're either coming to a unit that's not going to do the best for you.
Mr Sonsier agreed with police to keep protester numbers down after the hospital said it was worried the entrance could become blocked. Among the protesters, another cancer sufferer who travelled all the way from Oxford to support him.
It's outrageous that they can spend money on lawyers but not spend money improving the services that Dan and lots of other men like us need day in, day out.
This gathering of people certainly isn't the largest protest that's ever been seen, but it's had the desired effect, with national media joining the coverage. Daniel says, though, if the Trust fail to act upon his concerns, he'll be coming back for many more protests. This is Alison Freeman outside the Cumberland Infirmary for BBC Look North.